Hello everyone, welcome to this quilling video. This is false advertising because I'm not really going to be using tweezers very much in this video, but I thought it might be a nice sound. In this video I'm going to actually try something new that I've never done before, but I've been using tissue paper in my quilling, and I wanted to make like a sunset, and then I was trying to think how could I do gradient with the sunset, and I think tissue paper might be the way to go about doing that. And this is just a trial. I'm going to use these narrow strips of paper that I actually used in my other project. This was from a larger sheet of paper and I wanted to cut it down, so I cut these strips, and so instead of just like recycling these strips of paper, I'm just going to use them as practice and trying a new technique, which is making kind of like a color gradient sunset with tissue paper. And I don't know if you can see, this is like textured paper, which I kind of want to see if the texture helps the gradient to make it look, you know, the texture already gives it kind of like different shadow effect because different parts of the paper are raised up and others are more indented inward, so there's already kind of a shadow effect. And I feel like with tissue paper, if I glue it down, I'll also see some of that pattern underneath, perhaps, depending on how thin I make the tissue paper layers, if I just make one layer or multiple. So that's what I'm going to be trying in this video, and I will see if it actually works. I'm pretty excited for it. If it works, it'll be amazing, because I think it could potentially look amazing. And then I could do like quilling on top of it, so I have like really pretty grading potentially, and then I'll have quilling on top of that. So that could look really cool. I'm going to do more of like what I usually see around where I live, which is mostly these orange, pink, yellow tones. But then what I really love about where I live, and I say where I live because I feel like different sunsets look different depending on locations. I'm not sure why, maybe atmosphere or I don't know, humidity. I don't know what affects the sunset colors. Maybe also pollution and smog. But I feel like here I see this really nice lavender color, the darker it gets, so I would like to do something like that. And I feel like tissue paper is interesting too, because if you see this lavender color against this darker blue, it creates like almost the kind of color that I see when I see the darker lavender color in the sky here. It's like it's almost like a gradient, just because I put two colors on top of, or one color on top of another color, because this looks very different. This color here looks very different from if I just had this purple on its own, if that makes any sense. Anyway, enough with that. I am not going to do the purple blues yet, because I feel like they are such a different tone than the orange, pink, yellow, that I feel like this might be like expert level, and I'm not there yet. So I don't know how to blend tissue paper colors, you know, so I just have to practice first. So I have some yellow, really pale yellow, white, a brighter yellow, and this tissue paper came all folded together, which is why I have to kind of unfold it myself and sort it myself, which I was gonna do before the video, but then I thought these could be nice sounds to hear. Tissue paper rustling. Rustling, not wrestling. I feel like my vowels are a little off today. So there I have the pale yellow, brighter yellow, and almost like an orangish yellow, like marigold. And let me see the other pinks and oranges. I have this darker pink and the lighter pink. I love colors a lot, and it's not like I'm even, oh my gosh, I was gonna say I'm not like even an artist, which obviously I do I have creative hobbies, and I am creative, and I do create art, but I feel like I'm not an artiste because I don't know color theory, I don't study it for, you know, so I feel like when I say I love colors, that's not like an expert view on what colors are, what they can do to a piece of art. It's just, I like them, I enjoy them, they make me feel happy to look at different shades, and I try my best to create pretty things with pretty colors. And here are my oranges. This one's more like a salmon color. So that's going to be, I'm guessing this is going to be nice to transition from the pinks. I feel like this is like salmon, and this is almost a lighter salmon. This lighter pink almost looks orange to me, comparing it to the orange colors versus seeing it with this pink. It's almost like a optical illusion almost. So here are my oranges and pinks. And white and yellow. So when I see the sunset here where I live, I do see like darker orange first. So that's going to be my first layer, I think, closest to what would be the ground. And then I feel like maybe, let me just play around with the colors. I think maybe this lighter orange would be next. And I think actually this lighter pink, because this almost is like a transition between this light orange and then we have light pink, but this is almost a pinky orange. When you put it next to orange, it almost, you can see the orange tones in this pink. I think better than you can see the pink tones in it. And then I can do pink. That looks really pretty to me so far. I wonder if I can do a white to help transition to yellow. Maybe this lighter yellow. And I don't know what to do with these other yellows. Let me see. And I don't have to use all of these colors. This yellow is almost a canary yellow. I wonder if I shouldn't use it. This looks okay to me, actually. So I have dark salmon, light salmon, light pink, kind of orangey. Then I have a brighter pink, white, transitioning to the light yellow, transitioning to a brighter yellow, transitioning to a marigold yellow, And I'm just gonna play around with this right now. I'm just gonna see. Like these dark blue colors, I don't think I would use, but I'm just gonna try. Let me separate all of these first. So dark blue, and then the lighter blue, but I don't even know how you would describe this blue. It's like, it's a nice blue, almost like jeans. And then we have a baby blue type of blue. Very nice colors. We have a dark purple and a light purple. I wish I had like an indigo, because isn't indigo a mix between blue and purple? And then a light purple. So I'm wondering if I could transition. Maybe I do need a green. I don't know. I can try to transition from yellow to blue. Oh my gosh, I don't think you'd be able to see this in the camera, but actually the light reflecting off of this yellow and this blue together, I see a green line right where, so maybe I don't even need a green. Maybe if I overlay this blue and yellow, it will create a green for me. Like I do see in the sky a tiny little band of green, almost like this here, where it's like I see green right in between where these two colors are touching, because of the reflection of the light. So that's really cool. And I wonder if I could do a purple, maybe even a dark purple to finish it out. And this seems like a lot of colors, but there's a lot of gradient in a sunset. So these colors, I'm not sure of. What are they? The cooler colors? I'm not sure if I want to add those yet. Because like I said, I feel like if I stick with warm colors for my first time, it might turn out better than if I try to mix cool and warm colors for my first time, which might not work because I've never tried it before. But I do think this would look really cool if I could pull it off. So let me see what happens in this video. Let's see if we actually use these cool colors or not. So the first thing I want to do, of course, I'm not going to use all of these, or this whole big stack of paper. I need to cut strips, and since I am using these narrow strips of scrap paper, I don't need the strips to be very big, so I will need to cut. And yeah, let me just cut and then I'll explain my next step. And I have my comb under here, which I also don't need for this project. That is not necessary. So let me start with this orange. Wow, it's a lot darker than when I had it underneath here. Was I even showing it? It seems like I was showing it. It's just when it's like this, it looks lighter than when I pull it out. I put it on top and all of a sudden it looks really dark. So this is very interesting, this project. I think it's going to be quite interesting because I think this, also keep in mind that this is like tissue paper folded over like 4 times. So once I get one strip of this, it's going to look a lot different. And I put it on white paper, it's going to look a lot different. So some of these I actually might want to, I might want to layer them layer them one color on top of another, or even one color on top of itself. So I do want a little bit of an overlap so I can glue the strips to the back. So I'm just going to cut here. I don't need this anymore, it's just... Alright, so I have these strips. You know, I'm not going to cut this bottom part yet, I'll leave it for now. So, I put this aside. And I'm going to do the same thing for this yellow. I need about the same size, the same width. Oh, and one thing I didn't do before I started on this was actually look up if someone had already done. I feel like someone probably already has done this idea, and I could even probably have looked at a tutorial. But I'm just doing it on my own. Why? Because I got the idea from my own little head and I want to try it my way, and then maybe I can look it up and see what others have done and learn from it, and then next time do it better, because I know it's not going to be perfect the first time. I was looking back at my project that I just finished, and I was already thinking, oh my gosh, it looks like an amateur did that project. But when I first finished the project, I was like, oh my gosh, it looks so professional. So I just think that I need to have a little bit more faith in myself. I actually did this in the wrong order. This is supposed to be not with the yellows. It's okay. I can put it back into order later. So I'm gonna just get this yellow cut. And you can see that I've cut out some things or some parts of the paper already for other projects, which is okay. I don't need like 100% complete sheets for this. I just need smaller pieces to work with. Okay, and there's my yellows. White. My white. Let me cut out my white. And hopefully it ends up looking like a sunset. I really hope it actually does look like a sunset. I was also thinking maybe I should not use white paper as a base. Maybe I should use a different color, like even a blue base or a black base. I'm not sure. So that's another thing that I can try out, is using different color as a base color. I'm really not sure how it's gonna look on white paper, but we'll find out. So the pink, let me cut this. I'm always thinking when I make videos, I think I'm moving too fast. Like, the sounds that I'm making are not going to be super relaxing because I'm moving really fast when I do them. Like this video I feel like is pretty fast. Then at the same time, maybe some people like faster sounds. Maybe you like that, so hopefully you do. I do listen to my own videos to help me sleep, so I end up liking it. And that's good. I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but whatever I can if I want to. If it helps me sleep, that's really why I started making videos. Not that other people's videos don't help me sleep, they definitely do. But I really actually wanted quilling ASMR. In this case it's not really quilling, but it's still related to quilling. And I would watch like quilling tutorials. And there's a train coming, so I'm gonna stop the video for right now. That train took forever, but you didn't know that because I turned the video off. But yeah, it was a freight train and it took probably like 10 to 15 minutes to cross. And it was pretty loud and made everything vibrate. Okay, so I have these strips now of all my colors, and I want to cut them again so that I can lay them across this strip of paper, so you'll see what I mean. And my idea for cutting them and laying them across the paper is, should I use the shiny side or the matte side? Let me actually see what it looks like. The matte side, I don't know, it looks fine. The shiny side, it does look quite shiny. Do I want shiny in a sunset or do I not? Huh. I feel like I will start with just doing the matte side. Okay, so my idea for this is I'm going to start with one layer of each color, and I'll see if I have to do more. And I don't want to cut straight across because I don't want a straight neat line like this between all of the layers. I want it to actually be torn. So you can see the different fibers of the paper. Maybe they'll blend a little better. So let me actually clear my workspace of these other colors, and I'm just going to try to actually tear, but I'm going to use a ruler so it doesn't tear in a very strange way, like all the way up here or something, like tearing like this. That wouldn't be useful for me. I want to tear across, but I don't want it to be a cut neat line, so like that. And I do get not a neat line, which you probably can't really see because it did tear pretty clean, but I do see little fibers of the paper sticking up and irregularities that I don't see in the part that was cut with scissors. So that's my idea, is I'm gonna glue one layer first of each color, and then if I want to make a color darker, I don't know. This is exploratory, everyone, so sorry if it seems like I don't know what I'm doing, but the fact is I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna glue Let me just put some glue. This is probably not best practice putting glue directly on the paper that I'm using as my official paper. I'm gonna do it anyway, and I'm gonna spread it out. And I'm gonna put this paper right on top. And then I'm going to actually use some of this extra glue on my spreading apparatus, which is literally just a little tab from the top of one of my quilling papers that I bought. I'm going to fold it over to make it stick there. There's barely any glue left, but I'm just gonna take what was wasted in that last go around. Well, it's not wasted if I'm using it, right? What would have been wasted if I hadn't used it. So I don't need a super lot of glue. A lot of glue. And I really like this. It almost looks like it's colored in with a crayon. Looks really nice. Put the top back on my glue. Yeah, this looks really nice. I can see the texture of the paper underneath. And yeah, like I said, it looks like it's been colored in by a crayon. So that's really pretty. Let me try my next color to see how it creates a gradient, if it does create a gradient. I'm gonna cut off these irregular pieces. And I really hate, to me I consider this almost like a waste. Like, I really hate wasting these little pieces. At the same time, I have tried keeping them, and it just, I don't know what to do with all these little things that I keep, all these tiny little pieces. And actually I want to use bigger scissors for this because, oh, you know what, I probably should have cut, or should have torn both sides of this, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing, everyone. Let me just keep going, see what happens. So I'm gonna do a little tear, or a little cut, so it will tear there where I want it to tear. And then again, I'm gonna use my ruler, line it up. I could use these nifty little lines that I have right here and tear. And this tore irregularly as well, so that's really nice. The problem I'm having here is this is creating, it doesn't look so bad. I was gonna say this is like a really darker color. It's not really blending very well together. So maybe I just want it to blend only a tiny bit, maybe just like that. Oof, I am doubting myself. Is this looking like a sunset? I don't know. But I'm just going to keep trying, keep going. Because I don't want to give up while I'm still in the middle of it. I want to give up when I'm at the end and discovered, okay, this did not work. Or say, okay, this kind of worked, but for next time I'll need to do X, Y, Z. Okay, here is this pink color, and once again, I really like how it looks while it's on this textured paper. It looks really nice. This is kind of going off the side. I could glue it over, or I could just kind of snip it off. Oh well, I'll deal with those tiny details later. So far I have these colors, This actually didn't glue all the way, but maybe that's good because maybe I can kind of put the next color underneath it. Yeah, y'all are like, what is she doing? And I would respond, I don't know what I'm doing, but that's okay. Alright, so here's my next color. This really looks pink. I wonder if I should put another, ooh, actually another layer of this makes it look more orange. I'm gonna try this. You all are witnessing how my brain works, which is kind of wild and wacky sometimes, but it's okay. So I really do like the color this gives me when I overlap. This is actually the same color. This color and this color is the same. So maybe I can create an extra little layer here, but I want to do it almost halfway through to give me a darker one of this salmon color, and then also the lighter version of the salmon color. So I'm going to do a little snip here so I know that's where I want the tear to be. And I'm going to tear. And then where am I putting this? Over here. Put this away. Maybe I'll need it again, maybe I won't. And then here is kind of a darker of the salmon color. And that gives me 2 shades of this salmon color, if that makes sense. Okay, so let me put some glue down. And I'm going to spread this out a tiny bit. You can see that this is not an exact science with the gluing. Tissue paper, this tissue paper will glue or hold with a tiny bit of glue. I don't really need to put a lot. And this is not centered at all. Let me see if I can be lucky and rip it off, and I can. And put it back on again. This time a little bit more centered, or maybe not. Maybe it's still not centered. That's okay. So I have my kind of second layer of this salmon color. And it's less transparent, so I can't really see the pattern underneath. Well, let's just keep going and see how it works out. So I have this next really light pink color. And this was the one that looked more orange when I put it against the orange colors, and looks a lot less orange when it's not against the orange colors. Looks more pink, if that makes sense. So I do like this color. I'm gonna go for maybe this much of the color. A little snip to guide my tear. See how this works. And put this to the side for now and see how this looks. I'm going to kind of put it underneath. I think it looks really nice. I don't know if this is looking like a sunset. Maybe I need to double down on this color or make an extra layer down here. But I can always do that later. Let me try. Putting my glue down, and I'm going to spread it out. And then let me put this color down, this lighter pink. I'm going to try to not make the same mistake of making it really off-center. You all witnessed that I did not measure anything, so okay. Okay, I don't know what my opinion is so far, but okay. Let's see how it's going, or see how it keeps going. Now I have this really pinkier pink, and it's actually a darker color than this other pink. Or maybe it's not, maybe this is still darker. But this is like, I think it has more yellow tones in it, or blue tones, I don't know. This definitely has orange tones, which you might not be able to see based on my lighting or your monitor. And you might be like, what are you talking about? But I know what I'm talking about. Okay, so actually on the white paper they don't look very different at all, these two pinks. They look quite similar. Oh my gosh. I cannot get this straight down or flat. I'm just gonna make a little line of this because I do see a difference between this and this once I have it like laid flat down on the paper. It's not a huge difference, and I feel like it's a good way to transition to, I'm thinking the white is also going to be a very, very thin strip, and then transition into yellow. So once again, I'm going to tear to give me that uneven fibrous line. And put that aside. And I'm going to also layer it underneath this last one that I did. Spread it out again. I'm going to put some on the back because this one I will need to glue down to the back because the paper, this paper is wider than the base paper. So put that on there and then fold it over and get it onto the back. And there's not enough glue on there, or I didn't put it in the right place. So just put a tiny bit of glue. And I'm really not worrying about if the back is, you know, perfectly glued down. It doesn't matter, especially for this, which I'm not giving it away or selling it or anything. It's just for my own practice. So I do like the gradient so far. It actually looks pretty gradual, I would say. Maybe I don't really like where they come into contact. Maybe that looks too dark. But hey, let's just keep going and keep seeing what happens. So the white is interesting because I'm going to put it on white paper. I think it will make a difference, even though it's white on white, because I'll get this tissue paper texture. At the same time, I don't want a lot of white because I think it's really just serving as like, well, I do see in my sunsets around here, there is kind of like a band, a thin band of white before getting to the yellows. And I definitely do start with, or I see the sunsets around here starting with orange and turning to yellow. So that's definitely something that I see. Oh, and there's pink in between in my sunsets around here too. So it's realistic based on what I see in my sunsets around here. I usually actually end up going on a walk around sunset time, which I haven't even been on a walk today. So it's probably going to end up to be around sunset time again today when I go on a walk. But if I go on a run, I am like wearing headphones, and I don't I don't like wearing headphones when I walk because I feel like it's more of like a mindful activity when I'm walking. But when I'm like doing exercise, running, jogging, then it's mindful but in a different way. Like I need to have some music or something to get me through it. Not that I don't like it, it's just, I don't know, when I'm running, I just want to hear music to motivate me. And when I'm walking, it's like I want to stop and smell the roses, if that makes sense. So I don't want to be listening to music, I want to be looking at the sunset, looking at the animals, looking at the plants. When I'm running, it's not a stop and smell the roses thing. So that's looking good so far. I'm going to start with yellow, and I kind of maybe want to overlap the yellow quite a bit with the white. And I think I want to, this part is creased, and I don't know if you could see that the white was a little creased, and it actually made it look like I can see the crease on the paper. So I don't want it to be creased, so I'm just gonna like tear off this tiny bit, and that didn't even work. It's too small. Let me just try to tear off maybe more so that I get torn sides on both sides. And I have 1, 2, 3 colors left, and then possibly I want to try the blue, so I'm just going to make this strip about this size. This time I didn't do my initial small cut, so it still worked. Okay. Maybe I want to make my white strip like really, really, really small. And I wonder if this is one where I want to double it up too. I don't know. I'll save that and see if I want to do it. So I do want to make my white strip more narrow. So I'm just going to overlap my light yellow on top of my white by quite a bit. That also gives me more gradient with this yellow too. And here's my first yellow strip. I think it looks pretty good coming up from orange, pink, yellow. And I'm going to glue these. So what about you? Do you kind of fit my style of like when I'm walking, I want to stop and smell the roses, appreciate the beauty, appreciate nature, if you have nature around where you live. But then when you're exercising, you need the music to be motivated? Or are you the opposite, or what? What is your style? I really am so glad that I live right across the street from a really nice park, and I'm able to see nature, you know, every time I go out to the park. And it's a pretty big park too, so that's really, really good. And there's a lake and everything, so a lot of animals that live on the lake and near the lake, and it's very nice to walk around. See squirrels and deer. A little further away there's actually also wild rabbits that live, and bats. They come out certain times of the day. Well, I'm always there, and if I see them, it's in the evening time. I'm assuming they also go out in the early morning time. This looks really nice. I like the yellow so far. I'm gonna glue this. I read this article. I was talking with my partner about it, and I thought it was a little ridiculous. It was about ancient people and indigenous people and how they didn't see color like we see color, and it's because they didn't have access to like these really saturated hues that we have access to nowadays. And you know, it depends on the kind of plants. Like, for example, if you didn't live in the equator, the tropics region, then you wouldn't see like those really bright tropical colors. And I don't live in a tropics region. I live further up north, and I was just like, what are you talking about? I see like these super bright, amazing, beautiful colors all the time in the sky, and even the grass, like there is so much gradient in the grass and so much color in the grass, and it's not like, yeah, it's not the super bright saturated colors that you can just have access to anytime you want, like this super bright orange color, for example, or something like that. But I just thought it was ridiculous that this author was saying that they didn't see color like we see color. And I don't remember exactly what their arguments were in terms of like, oh, not saying that they can't see color, but just that they didn't have access to all the colors we have access to. And I just don't really know if that's true. Not sure. What do you think? I feel like once you go out and look in nature, you see so much color. Even, like I said, just in dirt. Even just in the grass. There's a lot of color. So this yellow, I do like it. I'm wondering if I didn't cut strips of these papers. But I can do it now. I want to see the blue. If blue would actually work, because I think that would be really, really pretty. So let me just cut this, and hopefully I made this strip wide enough. I know I'm doing this kind of off frame, sorry about that. Let me see. I just want the tiniest of overlap so I get this tiny bit of green. Oh my gosh, it looks really pretty. I'm gonna try it. So if I'm gonna try the blue purple type idea, I'm actually gonna make this a little narrower so that I have more room for the cooler colors. And I will try, oops, sorry I wasn't holding it that tightly up here. I'm just gonna try this and put cooler colors on the top. And then I'm also going to try to put another dark orange layer on the bottom half of the bottom, because I feel like I need some more of that dark orange color at the bottom, at the base. Oops, this is the shiny side. I want the non-shiny side. So here's my yellow, the last of my yellows. And then I'm going to try the cool colors. These corners are kind of annoying me. I didn't really glue them down very well. I'll get to them afterwards as well. So let me do a little tear here because this end is folded over on itself a tiny bit, and that is not going to work for this. I need to have a very thin overlap with the yellow. Oops. This is quite a uneven piece, but that's okay, I think. Maybe I should actually put the more even piece down here and the more uneven side up. So this is kind of, it does make a little bit of a green when I overlap them. Okay, let me just see how it works out. Let me just glue that down. This might just look like a color sampler or something. When I'm done, and not like a sunset. I don't know. I'm discovering this as I go. Yes, with that little green strip where the colors meet, that is true to nature, at least in my experience. It's kind of hard to see the green in the sky, but I'm pretty sure I do see it, unless now I'm thinking, what if it's like an optical illusion? It's just my mind creating that green color because I expect it to be there because it's blue meeting yellow. Nah, I don't know. Okay, this looks really pretty. I don't know how pretty it looks on the screen, but for me it looks quite nice. So now I have this lavender purple. I'm going to cut again. Let's see how this looks together. That looks really nice. I feel like maybe I should do 2 layers of this purple, or even like the blue up here again, so that this purple has 2 different layers to it. It definitely looks blue. You know what I really like? I really like that though. I like the blue purple together, but I think I should do another layer of this blue. And then the very top of it will be purple only. And the middle will be blue purple. So actually, let me just kind of do this at once. Can you say that in English? At once, like that? At once, at the same time? I'm a native English speaker, everyone, but sometimes see, the thing is that I'm bilingual, and I also have studied many other languages, so, and I also interact with a lot of non-native English speakers, which makes it so that sometimes what I think of as, oh yeah, that sounds completely normal, is actually like, that's not how a native speaker would say it, that's how like a non-native speaker would say it, but I interact with so many non-native speakers that it doesn't sound unusual to me anymore. It just sounds like that makes total sense. If you say, I'm going to do this at once, it could mean I'm going to do this right now, immediately, or it could say, you could mean I'm going to do this at the same time. And now I'm doubting myself if that actually means at the same time. It could mean at the same time, or if it only means immediately, right away. And also what's confusing is that in like British English and American English and probably many other Englishes, the same phrase can mean different things. So, anyway. Okay, that's really, really pretty. But this purple has to be lined up better. Fold it over. This doesn't really look like a sunset. Dang. Well, I think the cooler colors actually make it look not like a sunset. I think it looks more like a color sampler of something, like paint or I don't know, something like that. Maybe it was actually the purple. Maybe the purple was too much. Oh, I just realized that actually the purple should have been brought down a little more, because now I have a lot of the blue color. But it's okay. Okay, let me glue down these corners because they are annoying me a lot that they're not glued down. And then I'm going to add another of this dark layer at the bottom. And then maybe I'll just snip off the top and just keep it to the warm tones and see if that actually makes it look more like a sunset. Because keep in mind I can't actually really blend any of these colors together like I'm sure you would do it if I'm sure you would blend if you were doing painting or something like that. But with tissue paper I can't really blend. So I'm guessing again that I don't have like art school experience or something, but I'm guessing that if I wanted to do this with tissue paper I have to choose my colors and layerings very carefully, and for me that requires me just trying it. I would have to learn by experience and experiment and experience. I probably could have just cut this part, but it's okay. I'm just going to keep it like that because it doesn't really matter if it looks pretty on the back. Okay, so here is my sunset. If I did quilling on this, I wonder how it would turn out, but I'm not going to do that in this video. And I'm also wondering if I would just cut it off here. I could do that if I look at the viewfinder only on the camera. That looks pretty nice with just the warm colors. I think I am just going to cut and take off these cool colors because it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. But now just with the warm colors, it does look like a sunset scene actually. And I think it would look nice. Maybe I can make like a silhouette. Maybe give like a tree or birds or something in like black quilling. And that would be my sunset scene. So thank you for watching. Thank you for experimenting with me. Hopefully this gave you some ideas if you are looking for some ideas, and I'm gonna go try to look if someone has done this before and see if I can get some tips from someone else that has done like tissue paper gradient before. But yeah, I think it looks pretty nice, and perhaps if I did this in a bigger scene, it would look better too. So thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, let me know your opinion, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, what language you want, soft spoken, regular spoken, whispering, anything else. Bye bye.